Hello, my friends, and welcome back to the Phantom Caballero. Today, we're going to introduce our series with a discussion about fascism and tyranny. I find it interesting that there are many people today that throw around the term fascist or tyrant, but I do not believe they understand the history or what those terms actually mean. Modern definitions relate fascism to somehow a far-right or right-wing movement. But interestingly, most of your fascists today, or even historically, they may have had philosophies related to their country, but everything else they were doing was very much to the far left. I'll give you some examples. Hitler may have been a nationalist, but he abolished so many freedoms, including religion. He allowed churches to exist, but only when they subscribed and agreed with him. Your opinion was not your own. Your choices were not yours. Everything was there. You either agreed or you did not. You could not do various things that you could do before Hitler. Look at Stalin. And let's think, and even globally, how many millions of people have been killed by fascists and tyrants? Fascism, by definition, is what I call a super centralized control of a strong government. Things like the media are controlled under a fascist rule. I find it interesting that in our recent history, many social media groups are in lockstep with the government. Maybe there's an agreement on philosophy, but we know that the government has approached those social media entities for the purpose of putting messages out and controlling opposing messages. I mention these things, my friend, or friends, pardon me, because which side of our political spectrum is doing everything? Let's talk about that a little bit further. Which side of our political spectrum is telling you what kind of car to drive? What kind of appliance you can have in your house? What you should think with regard to your own health? Well, I can tell you that people like myself and my compadres and my associates, we don't want to tell you to do anything. We believe in freedom. Freedom has responsibility, as you know. It doesn't mean you can do silly things and hurt people. But freedom means you have the right to an opinion, a right to a choice. There's no one that I know is trying to force you to buy a certain thing or think a certain way. Let's talk a little bit about one's personal beliefs. For example, I am a man of faith. I am a believer in the Almighty. Well, under a fascistic regime, things like religion are replaced by the current leadership. Everything is about the state. It is about control, my friends. I do not want to control anyone. I just want to have the freedom to think and believe what I believe. Well, today, what's happening with religion and faith? Which side of our political spectrum is persecuting those who have faith? Interesting, isn't it? If you do not have faith and I am talking to you, I will not look down upon you. That is your choice. I'm not here to convince you otherwise. Yet those who do not have faith are very aggressively trying to tell me that I'm a fool because I believe in something that is of a higher power. And as you know, my friends, aside from having the soul, the peace in the soul, and the peace of mind for believing in the Almighty, and whatever religion you may believe in, there's benefits there. But what I was going to say was, there's also a humbling effect. When you believe in something bigger than man or woman, then you are humbled. You do not zest for that control. These people on the opposite side of the spectrum do not have that peace. They must have control. Look at how taxation has been occurring. Everything is taxed. The government will mismanage things, and it's all about controlling everything you buy has a tax. I'm sorry, my friends, but we are in a road right now. We are in this world where people are labeling people like myself as fascists and tyrants. I know a thing about tyranny. My grandfather was actually said to be executed by a particular dictator. He wasn't ultimately, and that was fantastic. But that is the kind of thing that fascists do. We do not have that here. I certainly hope we will never have that here. But how people are being treated with different opinions, whether it has to do with the COVID vaccine, or even politically, we know that bank accounts are frozen if you do not agree with the current administration. These are not good things. These are stepping stones to a very bad world, a very dark place. So next time someone calls you a fascist, ask them if they know what that even means and if they know the history. Because if you go back through not only Hitler, but Stalin and Mao Zedong, and even current regimes in communist China and Russia, people disappear. Bad things happen. You're not allowed to talk about what you believe. And to that I say, God bless America, and God bless our Constitution, which gives us these freedoms. And let us hope that we can preserve that, so that we all may have our own free speech and voice our minds, because your opinion is important. Even if I disagree with it, I have no problem hearing it. Well, my friends, that concludes this video. Once again, I thank you for watching. The Phantom Caballero! We'll talk to you again soon, my friends. Goodbye and God bless.